YouTube? I'm back again for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter project every single time and give my honest thoughts on how that Kickstarter project is being ran. And today I'm very excited to be checking out the third most popular project on all of Kickstarter. That is SCP Heretic, a clandestine NGO tasks a downtrodden field agent to infiltrate a society of ... I don't know what NGO is. That's my first thing that comes to my mind in this description. I'd be like, wow, I'd really like to know what NGO is. I see the main image, and it looks like there's like an army dude in some lady's head. Like, is that what I'm seeing here? I'm sure it's going to be much more obvious when we get to the main image, but this image, it's kind of hard to tell what it is. Nothing about this really grabs me, to be honest with you. There's nothing here where it's like, oh, I need to... Like, I don't understand what it's about. The movie trailer, the poster doesn't really tell me anything. A clandestine NGO tasks a downtrodden field agent to infiltrate a society of paranormal artists and uncover their forbidden knowledge. I have no idea what the hell that means. Hopefully this trailer explains it all very clearly. So one thing that I noticed here, this is really interesting, is they put it in narrative film instead of just film, which seems like a bit of an odd choice. Because I gotta imagine there's much more people browsing film and video as opposed to narrative film. And when you're asking for $650,000, that is an insanely large amount of money on Kickstarter. I think you're going to want to set yourself up to succeed in every single way possible. And that's an interesting spot to put that. But as always, when I go into the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Let's go. 5:30.
Hi, and welcome to the Kickstarter campaign for SCP Heretic, a short horror film.
Right there in that one sentence, I know more about the movie than I feel like I did based on the description and the main image. Oh, it's a short horror. It's a horror film. Cool. Like, now at least I know it's horror. Section 1, introduction.
Our story takes place within the world of SCP, a universe where reality-defying entities and phenomena, known as anomalies, are sought out by a number of shadowy organizations, most notably the SCP Foundation. They are a top-secret, non-governmental organization that obtains these anomalies in order to secure, study, and keep them hidden from the public eye.
Okay, so cool, basic premise there. Imagine X-Files, except they're trying to capture the things. It seems like to me. Which I'm totally down for. That sounds neat. I do also know a little insider baseball here. I know this is, I think, their second or third project. The only reason I know that is because I found it on Twitter when I was trying to tweet at them, and I didn't see them on Twitter. But something to know. So this is a pre-established brand, which you need to know going into the project as well.
All in the name of public security. This is an esoteric world where the mundane only exists because of secretive battles fought to maintain this masquerade. But behind the facade, eldritch abominations and maddening truths lurk in waiting. This universe was created on a website known as the SCP Wiki and has grown into a colossal community of readers, writers, and creatives of many different practices. It has also served as the basis for our previous films, Dollhouse and Overlord, which focused primarily on the Foundation's paramilitary force.
Whoa, okay, we're actually talking about real life. Wait, what? I thought we were talking about what was going on in the movie, but we're not. We're talking about a website that's a real website. I don't know. Maybe this is just above my pay grade or something. But I do like the fact they're spotlighting the fact they made two other movies. I think that's always good.
It is the basis for our previous films, Dollhouse and Overlord.
And they both look, that does not look like a B movie right there, just from first glance. So I think they chose some good images right there to spotlight the fact that they can you do it.
Which focused primarily on the Foundation's paramilitary forces. This brings us to what we have in store for you this time around. In this final installment of our SCP series, we will be following a field agent of the SCP Foundation, tasked with going undercover inside one of the cells of a collective known as Are We Cool Yet?, a widespread group that uses anomalies to create paranormal works of art. This particular cell of the group, however, has begun to take on practices of a religious dimension, which they believe will lead them to divine knowledge. Assisting in this operation is MTF Pi 1, who will serve as a quick reaction force in the event of a crisis.
That was so much.
Our primary goal is to deliver a thematically interesting and mind-bending film with cosmic horror as its focus, featuring a strong contrast between the grounded...
Okay. That word right there, if it's not in the description, needs to be in there. Because, quite honestly, the first minute and 36 of this have been mind-bending to me. I'm trying to figure out what the hell this movie is about, and it's so hard. And then as soon as you mention that this is going to be a mind-bending movie, I say to myself, ooh, okay. Well, he's making my mind bend in the first minute and 30 seconds. that intrigues me. Like, I feel like that might be something to lean into a little bit more there, because this sounds like a really interesting series.
Normal world and a bizarre hidden reality. At the center of this will be a deeply emotional, character-driven story. Like our films before, the SCPs featured here will not be based on anything from the wiki, but we will be pulling multiple other elements from the universe in order to remain in touch with the setting. The narrative takes influence from many different places, more overtly from H.P. Lovecraft, but also from the works of David Lynch, Junji Ito, and most of all from video games like Silent Hill. This story will also feature many works of art for both narrative and production design purposes.
That was fantastic. That little split right there, if we could bite-size that and convey that a little, like, that was really good.
Drawing heavily from the works of Francis Bacon, Zdzislaw Beksiński, Masahiro Ito, Stephen Gammell, and Yuko Tatsushima. Cinematography will feature a mix of natural light for the normal everyday environments and more vibrant and otherworldly lighting choices in the setting of the cult.
Okay, so now I think we're getting, so I'm going to start using some board game analogies, because typically I check out board games and tabletop role-playing games on this, but I love to branch out and do different things. Whenever I say, I feel like there's a certain point in a Kickstarter video where a board game starts to talk a little bit too long about the rules, I feel like that's what they're doing a little bit right now. I think this bit of information would be much better served as just a bite-sized video down below. Like, are you interested in the exactly how this is going to made? Like the lighting, the angles, what we're going for, our inspirations, who we're going to do homages for, Easter eggs to keep your eyes out for, things like that. Or more for the hardcore fans. I don't know if necessarily putting him here into the video. I feel like at this point, a lot of people who are just like, oh, I was interested in this cool little, movie, are now like, okay, you're getting a little bit too much into the weeds, and they might skip over some very valuable information that's still in this 3 minutes. Just like, all right, what am I
to
I
create
know.
a dynamic
let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Or is it just me? Am I just a noob? This is all just completely go over my head, and you're like, no, I get it all.
Atmosphere.
Who we are.
I've been doing videos now for roughly a decade, with experience primarily in writing, editing, sound design, and music. All of these skills will...
Okay, this is big. This is a game changer, and I love when this happens, when it goes from being just another project on Kickstarter to being a project that is being brought to Kickstarter from like some other big outside thing. In this case, a YouTuber with 500,000 subscribers. So that is really cool. I love seeing that. I'm interested to see how that's going.
Will once again be put to use in the creation of this film. You can find all of my work on my channel, with my latest film being SCP Overlord.
My name is Stephen Hancock, and I have over 12 years of experience as a director, cinematographer, and editor, and I will be shooting and directing SCP Heretic. Most of my...
See, and this is what I was talking about. Like, I feel like we're going to get in some really good stuff right here. And I think maybe you got a little bit too much in the weeds there, because now we're getting a personal touch here, which I love even more. I love when you can interweave a personal touch into your Kickstarter story. Make it less about the product and more a little bit about you and the product, which it already was going to be, because you, once again, are an outside source. You're a YouTuber. I just love it. It throws off the dynamic completely of a Kickstarter.
My duties on this film are going to be planning out the shots, working with the production designers, lighting technicians, and grips, but also making sure that our actors deliver authentic performances. My most recent work can be found on Evan Royalty's channel, with my latest film being SCP Overlord.
Hi, my name is Clay Obley, and I've been a professional VFX and CG artist for 10 years. I've worked on a couple SCP shorts on my own, including the 096 short film, which I directed. I also did the VFX for SCP Overlord. I'll be handling the bulk of the visual effects for SCP Heretic in both 2D compositing and 3D effects.
Hi, my name is...
Wait, is this a movie? Or is this like an animated Final Fantasy style movie? Like, I still have questions. Like, I thought those were real shots, but maybe they're just so good at their job. Like, that one's very clearly not. That one is not acted. But then this one, like, I don't, like this looks like a real dude.
Effects for SCP Overlord. I'll be handling the bulk.
Like, that is, so I think this is an animated-ish movie. And once again, this is what I'm saying. It's so confusing, this video. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Bulk the visual effects for SCP Heretic.
It's mind-bending, which I'm actually all about. It makes me more excited about the finished product.
In both 2D compositing and 3D effects.
Hi, my name is Daniel Roden Clark, also known as After Infinity, and I'll be reprising my role as lead composer for SCP Heretic. I've been making music and doing soundtracks for over 6 years now. Some of my recent work includes the animation series Songs of War, and of course SCP Overlord. So I'll be composing some of the key musical score for SCP Heretic.
Now, one thing I noticed they did there was they didn't show any of the view counts for any of this information. And if those view counts are high, I would have just held it there for like just a half second more. 500,000 views, 50,000 views, 100,000 views, whatever it may be. I don't know. Hi, I am super duper lost also. Okay, thank you, Claire.
Soundtracks for over 6 years now. Some of my recent work includes the animation series Songs of War, and of course, SCP Overlord. So
what I'm saying is, I think that instead of having this in the main part of the video, it would be much better just broken off into bite-sized pieces, and maybe you even talk more. Maybe each one of these is 2 to 3 minutes of talking specifically about the sound design and what you were going for and what you're planning on doing and what you learned from previous projects. Like a mini blog that's there for those hardcore fans that really want to see you support this. The ones that are going to go get that Kickstarter pledge goal that I'm about to see that's like $5,000. Those fans. I think those things are awesome to have on your Kickstarter page. Not like 5 minutes is a long time in a Kickstarter video time.
I'll be composing some of the key musical score for SCP Heretic, making sure we nail that unique, tense brand of cinematic atmosphere the film requires. Also be working on things like Foley and dialogue editing, post-sound tasks that make sure we get crisp and clear audio for each and every scene.
Any mobile task force members featured will also be...
Because here's my main thing, and I think this is what the spotlight on this is. You don't have to pound your chest on can you do it. You got to pound your chest on, do I want it? Because can you do it is quite simple. Oh, we've done this. We got 500,000 YouTube subscribers. We have 2 movies previously in the books. Like, that's not what I was concerned about. It's the do I want it. And on the do I want it aspect, I'm 4 minutes in and I'm just confused more than anything. I mean, I want it because I'm all about mind-bendiness, but I don't know.
Be played exclusively by United States Armed Forces veterans, with exceptions only to major speaking.
Maybe a short clip sample of the music or something as well. And I think that'd be solid as well. Like, because you were showing it. That'd actually be really cool if it was like a side-by-side of that. That'd be so neat.
Roles that require trained actors. Experienced military technical advisors will also be on set to provide a genuine sense of authenticity to the tactics presented on screen. All other crews, such as our technicians and production designers, also come from experienced backgrounds and will be helping boost our production values far and above what's expected of an online film production.
I mean, it's going to have real people, right? It's going to have real actors. Or are they just shoot it? Like, what the hell? I'm so confused and I love it.
Given this is our final SCP film, we're going big, and as such, the proceeds will be going to a lot of things. Now, because there's far too many expenses for me to explain one at a time.
They're calling their backer amount proceeds? That's really weird, and it makes me wonder if the pledge levels are going to suck. Like, I hope not. I hope it's just an odd choice of words. But let me know. I've looked at thousands of Kickstarters. I don't think I've ever seen anyone call the money they're making the proceeds. It's just maybe it's just in board games. I don't know.
I'm just gonna throw up a list of our primary.
I think it's a full movie. I don't think it is. I think it's a short. Or maybe the first 2 are shorts, and this is the big one. It's all so confusing.
Ones on screen. While this doesn't cover all that we're going to need,
like we don't. In this video, I feel like most of us have an idea of how a movie gets made. Like, they talk about it all the time, like the behind-the-scenes sort of things with the actors, and like, we see it on shows like any show about TV shows, we see pretty much, we know. So I don't know if it's necessary to put it in here. Like, maybe as like a little aside when you get down to, I don't even know. I don't think in the main video.
To pay for, it should illustrate that this is going to be a colossal effort. But none of these really illustrate what our biggest and most important expense is, which is time. Time has been the biggest factor in how we've made our films previously, and has been one of our largest obstacles. The principal photography for both Dollhouse and Overlord was just about under a week, and we were rushing through scenes constantly, blending shots together and making mistakes we were forced to fix in post. In order to avoid this entirely, we need time to get everything right, especially in a story that is going to be heavily reliant on delivering great performances.
So,
working on SCP content has shown me that this community is one of the most prolific and dedicated in the world, and we want this film to be a send-off that expresses that. We want to show people the best that the SCP community can produce and set the benchmark not just for SCP, but for all online content going forward. We hope you can help us achieve this dream. If you are unable to contribute financially, sharing either this video or our Kickstarter page would more than suffice. Thank you so much for your time, and as always, take care.
Okay. So I think I finally understood it at the very end. SCP is a website where a bunch of pretty much internet people, just random yous and me's, goes and they write creative stories about this universe where people have to capture, the Cthulhu-esque things that go bump in the night, X-Files type stuff. And so they're making stories based off other people's writings. Maybe the best ones. I don't know. I think that's something like maybe. All right. So, Stephen Hancock. My name is Stephen Hancock, and I've been making films for... So, do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it after the video? Do I want it? I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in seeing this. Can you do it? Yes, I feel totally comfortable with that. How much is it? Hopefully we'll get down to that. I've been making films for 12 years. We got 2 people in here, so we should have some good customer service, because we got the collaborators. SCP Overlord. Just making sure this isn't a flaming dumpster fire here, but I don't even know what people would be complaining about. That is a little bit concerning. Not very much engagement here with 46 comments. So hopefully you're churning that a little bit better this time. Oh God, it's ugly. Oh, it's so ugly. Why would you do that? Don't hide things. That just looks bad. But can you do it? I feel comfortable. I mean, that's why you go and check this, but honestly, I don't feel like I really need to do that. Now on to what we got here. The SCP universe. The SCP Foundation is a fictional, top-secret organization tasked with the capture, containment, and study of supernatural objects, entities, and phenomena. And actually, I'm seeing another $650K for a film. Better have some marketable names in it. Well, I think that it goes back to the YouTube, like the pedigree. 500,000 subscribers, 500,000 people have said, you know what? I love what you do. I want to see everything you do. But the SCP Foundation. So this is a website. This looks cool, where you can go check out stuff. Okay. Oh, but what I was saying is I say it all the time in Kickstarter videos. There's just some times in Kickstarter videos for board games where they go too fast and they don't give us time to really look at the board and what's on the cards and read text and see things. And I almost feel like the first chunk of this, where they were just like trying to just throw everything at you, was just a bit too fast and not fleshed out enough. Or maybe, I don't know. Anomalies that cannot be obtained without subversion or force are captured using highly trained officers and or paramilitary units. I understood that, the basic premise. That's cool. They often work counter to the factions, also competing for control. The story, the Foundation targets the cell with the group of... So we're just kind of regurgitating everything on the Kickstarter video, it looks like. This feature will film an original... So honestly, at this point, if I sat through the video, I think you should just be getting down to the prices. Like, what am I going to get? Am I getting a t-shirt? Am I getting a poster? Am I getting a physical Blu-ray? Am I getting a visit to the set? What am I getting? Like, if I've gotten this far, I kind of just want to start knowing that. I don't feel like I want to know more about the soundtrack right now. I don't feel like I want to know more about the art design right now if you're going through your video, which I think most people would. Maybe they might skip around. But I want the prices. So this is demo tracks. Great. Love seeing this. Not going to click on it because that will immediately make it so I probably can't monetize this video. But I love seeing this front. And yeah, who was it? High Noon said maybe a short clip of the sound. And yeah, there you go. So I think that's a good thing to have. So it's a fan fiction film. I don't know, Cleric. Don't ask me questions. I'm so confused myself. The proximity location of the story is an uncanny apartment complex, which is a mix of a sterile art gallery and rigged residential building, creating a strange other... Oh, so this is where they're going to be filming? This is cool. This is really cool stuff. Like, why not show me a picture of this, too? If you have a place scanned out, I'd love to see that. Mobile task force operators. This is okay. Stuff, things. We know who you are. We watched... We intend to release the film in the winter of 2022 on Evan Muir's YouTube channel. Make that clickable. It'd be nice. We will take as much time as needed to make this the absolute best film possible. Not only is this far more ambitious than our previous film, but it also is one of the most ambitious short film projects, so it is a short film, on both Kickstarter and YouTube in both execution and overall cost. Production demands. It will require far heavier and more complex visual effects, stronger performance. Here's another thing that I'm noticing really heavily right now on this 2 created 0 backed, is this looks like someone who is just like, all right, just gonna make my Kickstarter. And I think really, and I always recommend this, if you're gonna make a Kickstarter, go look at 5 or 10 of the most popular tabletop games Kickstarters. Don't look at the bad habits of other areas of Kickstarter. Go look at the tabletop games and how they do things, and just write down all the things that you like that they do. Say, oh, that'd be good. I could use this. I could use this, and then copy all that. Because this is a lot of text, and it's not very visual. Like, it's like, I just want to get down to the point. Our previous film, shown below, currently sitting at 11 million views. Holy Jesus Christ! No, this is what I was talking about. That's a huge number. Spotlight that number. What's the thumbs up to thumbs down ratio? That sort of thing. I imagine it's pretty sure. Not to mention, why isn't this clickable? If this is on YouTube and I can click it right now, and it's going to help me out to click it right now, and it's going to get you, AdSense just a penny or something like that. Make this stuff clickable here. The prior film, LCP Doll Test, was shot for roughly so now we do have this. Okay, so this is the previous. Yes, it's all 34 minutes. Okay. That's an episode. Cool. What is the funding going towards? The proceeds. Okay, so now you call it funding, and that's totally normal, but the proceeds. I just want, what am I buying? Risk and challenges. No, you didn't do it. you didn't show me the damn, the only piece of information. Let's go back. I literally said the only piece of information I want in your story is your pledge levels, and you don't even give them to me. I gotta go over here. I went through all that for nothing. And I know, you're like, why is the support? It's over here. Why don't you just do it yourself? Because this is your shopping area. This is the fun area where I should get to enjoy myself and decide how big I'm going to open my wallet for you. Because I subscribe to you, and I love you, and I watch you when I'm doing dishes, or when I'm going poo, or doing stuff like that. And it should be a fun, vibrant area. And it's not. It's going to be more text. And here's the thing. This is a really cool sounding film. You want to know one of the most popular topics in all the board games? Cthulhu. Mysteriousy stuff. This is the kind of thing that would have definite crossover appeal to other aspects of Kickstarter. Right now it's number 3 in popularity. That's because it's Monday at noon. And I know for a fact that over the next few weeks, there's finally going to be some big Kickstarters that start getting launched. I don't know if it's this Tuesday, but I think it might be next Tuesday. And this is going to sink like a rock, I imagine, in popularity as things get onto Kickstarter. Which means it's going to be less likely to get just found randomly in the magic or popularity section. And then when you add that with the fact that it's not in films, it's in narrative films. You're narrowing who's going to find this. You're essentially just banking completely on your YouTube audience and your Twitter follow. Well, I didn't see the Twitter, but your Twitter following, your social media thing. And I think that's a big misstep, because if that doesn't work, you're kind of screwed. I think you should be really trying to appeal this more a little bit to everybody else, and you can do that in a lot of really simple ways, I think, and you would see those ways if you looked at other people's Kickstarters. But here we go. So the minimum pledge is $10. I immediately hate that. Why can't there just be a $1 thank you for everything you've done? I went, every dollar counts. We really do appreciate this. Blah, blah, blah. $1 equals 6 minutes of us having extra time to shoot, or something like that. Break down a number. Put something here. Oh, there is $1. Why was it? Oh, so the lowest is 10. That's weird. And that's why I'm so glad you put $1, because once again, 279 people. See your name in the end credits for $1. So, once again, I think that this is a big misstep as well. I think this is too good of a deal here. Because, I'll be honest with you, if that's $3, I don't think that number changes. If that's $5, I don't think that number changes that much. I think that's honestly a little bit too cheap. I think you start off with $1 thank you, just for you want to support it, and then you bump it up a little bit. But I think you're lowballing. And trust me, I know a lot about lowballing. I'm a lowballer myself. I'm a hell of a lowballer. Class D original soundtrack. Receive a lossless copy. I don't know what that means, lossless, of the original soundtrack. I'm assuming that means that it's the digital. Is this digital? I'm assuming this is digital. Lossless? You can't lose it? Is that what you're trying to say? What's a lossless? Lossless? You know what? I kind of want to... Let's learn right now. Lossless. What is lossless? Oh, not lossless, see? Protocol freezes fraudulent transactions. Lossless audio. How to turn lossless on or off. What is lossless? Having or involving no dissipation of electrical or What? Are you saying that it's a green music? Like it's friendly? I don't know what's lossless. Is this digital? I mean, this has to be digital. It can't be physical. Anyway, $10. It's fine. And that's what I'm saying right here. Like, I think it would have been so easy to go $1, backer credit. Or not, $1 thank you. $5, backer credit. $10, soundtrack. Plus, I'm assuming you also get in. You don't. So I think that's a big misstep right there. And I feel like this is why, like, this is at least go look at other popular movie projects. And I had, I've only done, I think, 2 movie projects. And the last one had a lot of things that were very similar. I just don't think movies are super popular on Kickstarter compared to other things, unfortunately. Even though I actually was in a Kickstarter one that was a Kickstarter back. But this is like, why doesn't this come? Oh, it does come with a backer credit. Oh, it does. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Level 0, 4K digital copy. Receive a 4K digital copy of the film. So this is just getting the movie, $25. And once again, that's why I think that'd be so much more fun over here. Where it's just like, big graphics. Thank you so much for making this happen. YouTube, like, whatever. Then $5. Your name in the credits. Then $10. And I see, a picture of a digital thing and lossless. And maybe explain a little bit more what lossless is. And then we get to the $25 levels. And I say, oh, now I'm going to get a digital copy of the film. 4K. Boom. And if I love your YouTube, $25 to me, like I don't think most people think twice about that. As long as, they have that kind of disposable income. So that's great. But a picture I think would help it a lot. So we have the BTS photos and videos. Receive BTS photos and videos from the set. So you get a backer credit. So what does this mean? What does that mean? Like, is this behind this? Oh, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. I think, yes. Don't presume I know what BTS is. Like, that's so you're essentially, it's kind of like a Patreon-ish thing where you're getting like all this behind the scenes exclusive stuff. Let's see how popular that is. 107. Awesome. So far, no terrible pledge levels. I would say a pledge level is terrible if no one's backing it. I don't like going on the ride, though, because I have to read instead of seeing cool little images. Level 2, digital 4K papers and wallpapers. And once again, this is the kind of thing, and I think Onyx and the Fortuitous, that was it. I did a Kickstarter video on theirs, and then I think they changed quite a few things about it, actually. So they did a video that was just the person, the YouTube personality. And they just said, all right, here's the pledge levels. We got this, we got this. They broke it down. And that was really good. And I think, and even if you don't want to do the images, I think that'd be good here. Because I imagine we got a bunch more down here. We're only halfway. Digital 4K paper and wall. So get the posters, 4K posters, desktop, and is this a digital? This is digital posters. 230. Okay. The administrator, original painting. Excuse me. So this is original painting. You know what would really sell a painting? Knowing what that painting is. And did I miss it over here? No, there's no way I could have missed it. What is the administrator? Why am I paying you? Why? No one is. $5,000. Once again, why is no one taking this pledge level? Because you're asking me to buy, quite literally, a picture of something, and then you're not showing me a picture of what that thing is. Like, there's blind faith because I love your YouTube channel, but $5,000 blind faith, that's a big ask. So this is, oh wait, whoa. No, God, oh, this is a full letter grade drop for me, quite honestly, right here, because one thing I just read, look at all this, it adds, so, desktop wallpapers, that's where we stop. So this $5,000 pledge level adds higher resolution digital poster. Don't care. Interspace anomaly beanie, so now you're giving me some swag. That's cooler. That's really exclusive stuff. Interspace anomaly t-shirt, neato. Signed movie poster. That's awesome. I honestly have a friend of mine who, if this was like a specific person that they liked or a band or something, would back this. He's got so much disposable income, $5,000. I can see it. Like, he's the kind of person that you should be trying to market this to, at least in my mind. And you're not going to do it with just text. Like, this just says original painting. I have to go through here to see it's a signed movie poster? No, I should be excited about that signed movie poster. And then original oil painting from the film. That's actually really cool. Once again, I'd love to see what it is. And then this is the big one. Executive producer credit. That's huge. I want to do that. You're on IMDb forever. You're this much closer to getting a Wikipedia page. Like, if you literally just backed 10 of these, if you were a really rich person, you could just get your... Yeah, he's been executive producer on, like, 10 small... like, but this is not spotlighted at all. And that's so bad. Because that's... Like, the oil painting is cool, but... Once again... I have no doubt in my mind that if this were presented in such a way as to say, but our biggest pledge level. And once again, here's my other thing here. I'm not a big fan of your pledge levels because this is your biggest whale. And even if you get all these big whales, this is not even 10% of your budget. So I think you're gonna I'm having a hard time seeing where these numbers are gonna come from at the current layout. All right, but let's keep going. So this one's sold out. Level 3 Interspace Anomaly beanies, and this is swag. And I why are we limiting swag? Because this is like the thing that you don't want to limit it at all. Because the more, well, you do have to ship. That's the thing. And once again, I bet this isn't going to have any shipping information on it. Yep, guarantee you. No to shipping. And you only United States, so get bet rest of the world. That sucks. Is everything U.S. only? Is that what I'm seeing? No way. Like, this can't be U.S. only. What? No, this one's not. Okay. Oh, but that's because these aren't physical things. I want to see if the beanies are. But I can't because they're sold out. But we can look at the community page and get a gander. $7.93? No, they got 117 UK. Awesome. So, yeah, I don't understand why you're limiting the beanies unless you're worried about just not wanting to ship them. But the more beanies you make, the cheaper the price becomes. And also the fact that then you've made, say 500 beanies, and you can sell those after the fact. You could put those on a merch store or something like that. So I feel like that's really odd. Why only 20 of this? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me in any way, shape, or form, unless you're trying to, produce rarity of this. But I don't know. It's just such an odd choice. And then we have the associate producer credit. Oh, that's why I didn't know that there was the associate producer credit in your big whale pledge. It's because this Kickstarter pledge is now not something I see because it's put to the bottom. Once again, this would all be remedied by a pledge area in the story. This is why it's industry standard. This is why you don't just walk into Kickstarter, make your thing, and then walk out. You look at everything around you. You see industry standards. Because, yeah, this, I guarantee, this is going to be gone. Associate producer credit. That sounds awesome. Tapper mask. Receive a Mira safety tacker mask. What is this? This is cool, too. That one's sold out. So Council Scramble gear. And so, yeah, they do have a whole bunch of really cool pledge levels here. And a lot of these are sold out. All right, FAQ updates, no updates. Once again, it just launched today, so that makes sense there. And the comments. I bet it's just people excited. I've seen your amazing work on Overload. Dollhouse? What? You did something on Dollhouse? I feel like that should be spotlighted in the video. Love your work. Happy to contribute. You're now $25 richer. I'm happy to support. So this is just a bunch of people who are happy to support you. And, oh no, this did launch a couple days ago. And you haven't responded to any of the comments. Oh, God. Full point grade job right there. Like that's just so bad. Like nobody here had a question. Does anyone have a question, or is it all just people excited? Even if it is just all just people excited, you should be churning this. These are your fans. These are the people you want here supporting you, excited about your project. Like Dominic Duong. Good luck. Hoping for a smooth production, exciting film. Am I cool yet? Winky face. I'm putting myself out there for you. And you're like, boop. Nope. We're not responding to any of you. And I said it when I looked at their first project. The amount of comments it had was terrible. This is going to sink like a rock of popularity. Oh, man. And this is it's just... So, when this gets relaunched, because I imagine this is going to get relaunched, I imagine that is part of the reason why we don't have an update yet. We don't even have a first day, like, hey, we reached 10% of our goal kind of thing. I imagine they are just in full-blown, like, damn it mode. And I thought this was launched this morning, but yeah. And this right here, I want to spotlight to you because I've been saying it for the last month, how dead Kickstarter is right now. This right here being the third most popular project on Kickstarter right now, despite the fact no one is engaging with it, should tell you a lot about Kickstarter right now. But, final grade for SCP Heretic. Do I want it? Yeah. I do. I just mostly because I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. It sounds interesting. You do have a hard issue here. One big issue that I see is that you're pounding your chest about how this is going to premiere on a YouTube channel. And so then it gets to me like, why would I pay $25 for the movie aside from to support you? And I understand that. I understand that completely. But, like, I know for a fact, I don't know. Here's the thing. That means to me that you need to have awesome other pledge levels. Like, awesome merch. Awesome things that I'm going to be able to have, and I'll get recognized maybe like 7 or 8 times a year, and I'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. That's what's up. Like, that sort of thing. That sort of feeling. But you limit the beanies. And nothing else is really acquirable. Like, why can't I just buy a beanie? Why isn't there just an add-on section? There really should just be like the add-on section, which once again would go in the pledge area. But I feel like this is Kickstarter 101 here, and it's like, these are things that I think would really help this out when you relaunch, because this is not going to fund. Like, I don't, like, all your, even if, and here's the thing, even if all your whales would get sold, like, we're not even close. Yeah, because all the whales, aside from this one, are sold. This adds 50 grand, and we're sitting at 135. We're still sitting 500,000, no stretch goals. Yeah, and that brings me to another point. Like, why do I come back to this? There is no reason for me to come back to this Kickstarter after I back you. After I say, all right, I love your content. There's no stretch goals. There's no daily unlocks. There's not even updates. There's barely any comments. There's no upcoming events. There's no reason to come back to this. And it's just going to drop like a rock in popularity. And so once again, as I always like to say before I give this grade, I am not grading the project itself because I think it looks cool. I will check it out. I'm grading the Kickstarter presentation of the product and how the Kickstarter was ran. Do I want it? Yes. In spite of yourself. In spite of everything. Like, in spite of the confusion. In spite of me not knowing if it was a full-length movie or a half-length movie, or if it was animated, or if it was not animated, like, all these questions that I didn't know, I was still, like, brain-bending. My brain's already bended. I'm intrigued in the movie. Can you do it? Yes. 100%. Feel super comfortable. A on that. And I feel like you did a good job spotlighting that. A little bit too much. To be honest, this is someone who thinks their project deserves money to me. I could get that vibe. I think, and you lose that, like, and I kind of agree, because it just feels like we just came here. This is like Kickstarter. They're not using Kickstarter as a marketplace. They're just using Kickstarter as a hub to collect money from their YouTubers. And I think that's a very tactical misstep. Especially if you're asking for $650,000. Like, yeah, projects make $1 million all the time on Kickstarter, as long as it's not December or January. But those are like tabletop games. And most of the time, those are companies with pedigrees who know the industry standard, who have relationship with media and content and this and that and the other. And so that's when you get that $1 million project. I just, self-entitled, personal funding. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, because it's like, they want to make this movie. Like, this is going to be their magnum opus. It is the final one in the series. And I think that's how it should have been pitched. You know, we've done 2 previous projects before. They have over 11 million views on YouTube with 85% thumbs up to thumbs down. And now we're going to bring our magnum opus to you. And it's just, I feel like it could have been presented in such a different way. So do I want it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. How much is it? It's not bad. I mean, $25 to download the movie, that's a Kickstarter price. I don't have a price with that. So in theory, this should be a good grade. But no pledge area. Full letter grade drop. No update. No comments. No excitement. No reason to come back. Confusing video. Confusing pledge area just because of the way Kickstarter knocks everything down. But you would know that if you looked at more Kickstarter projects. And so, this is one of those ones where we're like there's nothing about this there's nothing about this Kickstarter project that I was like, oh, I think they did a great job on that. And that's not like, and if you're trying to get $650,000, like that's just, I'm gonna give this one a D. Is it a D? I hated this. Like I didn't even understand what was going on here. It's an F. It's an F. Gotta give it an F. I have to be honest with myself. I gotta give it an F. I think this is a terribly misran Kickstarter project that has everything it needs to do a massive relaunch. Because, like, there's nothing missing. The pedigree is here. The idea is here. The loyal fan base of this website is here. Your YouTube audience is here. But there's just so many other things. Narrative film. Like there's just so many little things that just like let's look at everything. Let's look at the most popular narrative film ever. Like let's look at those. Is it these? Like is it what is? Do you see anything here that's raising $650,000? No, I think you're self-limiting yourself there. Whereas when you go to films, like I want to see this succeed because it looks cool, but it's just yeah, I gotta go with an F. Let me know in the comments below, though, what is your grade for this? Am I being too harsh? But I feel like I'm a huge sports fan, and when you see a player that's just on a team, and the team is just managed so terribly, and you're like, why are you wasting this player's prime years? I get that impression here, because this has everything it needs. No, I can't go F. I can't go F because F is like scamming. F is like bottom of the barrel. I'm gonna go D. Because I need to clarify these bottom grades here. I'm gonna go with D. D. We're gonna go with D. I feel like I should say D minus. D minus. Let me know in the comments below what's your final grade, though. I'm getting the hell out of here. I got a Kickstarter one. I got a board game to do in 17 minutes. But as always, if you enjoy this sort of content and you want to see me dip more into the movie genre, granted, there's not much here. Like, I'm not going to start doing movie reviews or anything like that. But I really do like looking at the Kickstarter movies. Let me know in the comments below. D+. Okay. So I think I was being a little bit too harsh there. So, you know what? I'm going to go with D. You were my, what is it? You were my, the thing in the storm. What is it? You were my compass in the storm, Claire. But as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.